Hello everyone and welcome to another Rise of Kingdoms video. This is Dragothian here, and today we're going to go ahead and extend our Commander Mastery Series guide and add Wu Zetian to that list. She is going to be an amazing commander that I want you guys to know about. We just received her from the Season 2 rewards of Lost Kingdom, so not everybody has her yet. However, those of you that do, I know you want to start leveling her up and maxing her out and using her because she is quite literally the best Garrison commander in the game. Before we get started, I do want to remind everybody this is a sponsored content creation channel for Rise of Kingdoms, so if you're looking for stuff like this, this is where you want to be. With that being said, Wu Zetian, again, legendary commander, the best Garrison commander in the game by far, in my opinion. We're going to go through her skills. We're going to go through a couple talent builds, although the one that I really want you to focus on is the Garrison talent build. And then I've got some really sweet pairings at the end that you're really going to enjoy. So let's go through and get started with the skills. The first skill, basically, it's a unique skill that no other commander has a combination of these types of things going. So you've got direct damage factor of 1,000 when maxed, and you've got a healing factor of 500 when maxed. To put this in perspective, this is basically the maxed damage output with an expertise Boudica for the direct damage, and then the healing factor is about a third or so of what Richard brings. So with that being said, you get a little bit of both. You get quite a significant nuke there right off the bat with the active skill, and you get, especially as a Garrison, a pretty significant heal because you have a lot of troops backing that heal up. Now again, if you've watched this channel, you know that I'm not a huge fan of healing as a Garrison commander. However, with it being so small, and when we go into the talent build, you'll see why this is actually a fantastic thing to have using this commander as a Garrison commander. Okay, but overall, again, very nice skill, Mandate of Heaven. Definitely want to max this first before you go to the second skill, okay, and unlock her for 2 stars. Second skill, Lion Rider. This basically gives you a damage bonus up to 10% for all your Garrison troops, which is awesome. Again, as a Garrison, damage bonuses that go against Garrisons are really, really good because they have so many troops to play with. They bring out so much more troops, which increases that damage factor even further. And then on top of that, if you're getting rallied, there's an additional 10% damage that you will be able to put out. So again, these two stack. So you get a passive when you're commanding a Garrison. You get 10% damage, troop damage right off the bat. Then on top of that, if you're getting rallied, it says the damage caused by rally attacks is increased by 2%. Wait. Yes, I read that wrong. The damage you cause to rally attacks is increased by 10%. So you get a 10% bonus for troop damage, and then it looks like all damage because it doesn't say troop damage on that second piece. I'll double confirm that for you guys, but that's basically a 20% damage increase if you're getting rallied, which is why not, right? Now, obviously, another thing that we want to test is we've gotten to the point now where multiple rallies are a thing against a city, or you're going to get rallied and swarmed, like in Ark of Osiris. So I want to make sure that it's not just to the rally itself. Maybe it will apply to all the troops that are hitting it if you're rallied in general. So I want to find out if you're rallied, does it apply to the swarms or to multiple rallies on top of it, or is it just to the rally and that's it? I'll confirm that stuff for you guys, and I'll put it in the comments below and pin it at the top so you know what that is as soon as I find out. But again, very, very solid skill. Probably the best skill for the Garrison that is in the game because of just the raw amount of damage that you're going to be putting out. And why not have a rallied attack bonus for a Garrison talent or a Garrison skill? You're going to get rallied. That's the whole point of being in a Garrison. Third skill, amazing skill. The fact that it's got stats and a crowd control is pretty sweet. So first off, we've got an HP and defense of your troops bonus of 10% when maxed. Also, you have a 10% chance to do a silence for 2 seconds, which is exactly the same skill that Herman has. So his primary skill that he has to wait to activate every 5-6 seconds or so, she gets it passively, and you get a 10% chance to hit it. So we all know about those 10% chance types of things. The more you're getting hit, like the more armies that are hitting you, the more likely those 10% chances are to go off. And again, it's not just to a rally. So if you're getting swarmed in your city, or if you're getting rallied and swarmed, you have the opportunity to pop that 10% off to multiple armies that are hitting you simultaneously. That's a really, really good skill. That's one of the best skills on this whole commander. And definitely do not move past this skill before you max it, because it's very quality. I really like the stat bonuses that you get alongside of the fact that you get a silence. It's pretty sweet, especially as a garrison commander. You want to delay those skills going off, and if you can catch it whenever they're about to do a skill right off the bat, that just throws their whole rotation off, and it's just going to be destroy city for whatever rally or swarms that are happening on your city. So very, very good skill. Very, very good skill. Fourth skill, Legacy. Again, another passive skill. You're going to basically get more skill damage reduction, which is sweet. Again, you're going to see how much skill damage reduction this commander has, and it's going to blow you away. And then also, you have a 50% chance to increase your defense by up to 20% when you take skill damage. So 50% chance is pretty darn high. And again, when you've got commanders like Genghis Saladin, or YSG and El Cid, or Edward YSG, all those different Mina Double C, all those different skill damage commanders that people like to stack up whenever they're rallying cities, this will allow you to basically trigger it every single skill damage that happens, because you're getting hit twice. So chances are you should at least trigger this for 3 seconds whenever it procs off. Now you have the ability to trigger it possibly for 5 if it triggers first on the first skill nuke, and then you have a second delay before the next skill, and then the next skill goes off and triggers again. You actually could have 5 seconds of 20% extra defense on your garrison, on top of the fact that you're getting a reduction on the actual skill damage that you're receiving during those nukes. I mean, it's just, this commander is amazing. Best commander for garrison by far, hands down, bar none. Let's go into the expertise. Brightest Sky, another new skill. There's no augmentation of the previous skills on this expertise. She's just going to give you more stuff. So counterattack damage plus 20%. Why not? Sure. Let's have 2 million plus. Let's have 2 million plus troops. Go ahead and increase that counterattack damage by 20%. That's going to be amazing. Incoming attacks also have a 10% chance to deal more skill damage, which is more nuke damage, to the commanders that are rallying you or attacking you in general. And again, same premise, 10% chance is triggerable more often if you get swarmed. Hopefully that makes sense. To me, it makes a ton of sense. All these skills meld together to basically make this commander the best garrison commander in the game, bar none. Now, something that's very unique about this commander. If you look at the talents, you've got a leadership and garrison commander, which there isn't any, I don't think. And then you've got garrison paired up with support, which I think the only other commander that has that would be Constantine. But to have all 3 of these combined, there is no other commander that has it, as far as I'm aware. That being said, let's jump into the talent builds, because, again, this build is going to be amazing. And I'm going to fire it off with the garrison talent build first, because that's the best use of this commander. Now we're going to go through these talents, and I want you to be very careful on how you understand I've constructed this. The point of this build is to give you as much rage regeneration as possible, to give you as much skill damage reduction as possible, to give you as many triggerable effects that proc off of heals, which again was from that first skill, which gives you more skill damage reduction. This is also going to be specifically geared towards garrison from the garrison talent tree as well, which I'll go through. And then we also get more heal procable stuff from the leadership talent tree too. We're going to go through it all. It all stacks up. I haven't compiled all the bonuses into one number, but it's really, really high. Really, really high. And you'll start seeing it as we go along. Let's go through the garrison build. I've augmented this a little bit because usually I've got the adamantine walls, which is noticeably missing from the garrison build. The reason I say that is because I needed those 3 talents to give me something that was just a little bit better on the leadership tree. Otherwise, I would have that filled in as well. But I felt like the skill that I replaced it with was better. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. So you see at the beginning, as you work your way to the left on your screen, in the Garrison build. We're gonna spec left to impregnable. That gives you a skill damage taken reduction of 15%, which is huge. You also are going to have impenetrable fortification, which is damage taken by the garrison from the attacking army is reduced by 6%. You also are going to have the City Guardian, which you have to get to Kingsguard, which is another thing that you're going to want to use. But City Guardian, that's going to give you an additional attack for your watchtower by 15% as well. I also was able to spec into Nowhere to Turn, which grants an additional 6 rage every time the city is attacked. And then also, again, Kingsguard being the nice one, increases garrison attack, defense, and health by 3% when this commander is serving as garrison commander. It says no effect when garrisoning cities, but I've seen tests, unless they've patched it, where this actually still works on cities. Even if it doesn't, I would still have it for Ark of Osiris and flags and passes and anything that you can garrison without it being a city. Those are still very, very worthwhile 3 points to put into this commander. Okay, so that's the Garrison build. That's the tried and true Garrison build talent spec. Usually you've got the other wall, the one that looks like a rampart there that's missing. You usually have that one too, but for this commander, I've taken those points and put them elsewhere because they've got really, really good use. Let's go ahead and go to that one. So let's go to the leadership tree next. We're going to go to basically healing herbs. So that's the 3 points that I reallocated. And it basically enhances the healing effects by 9% for any heal that happens in this group. Now, again, this works even better if you're using a double C as secondary or something like that, because that also has a heal, or Pelagius has a heal. You don't want to go Richard here because, again, we don't want to bring too many back, but 9% of a 500 healing factor is not bad. And it's going to give you enough to where it's going to give your stuff a little extra juice, but not necessarily hurt you in the killed troop category if you're to get double or triple rallied. Okay, so that's the leadership talent spec there. I would much rather have that 9% healing bonus than some extra defense on a watchtower that's going to go down like that. That's my logic. Okay, now let's get into the support tree. This is where she makes her bread and butter. Now, I thought about pairings in conjunction with this build. And if you were to pair with Charles, for instance, do you want to make Charles primary? Because we all know that the defense talent tree and the garrison talent tree are really, really nice and they work really, really well together. But as I'm looking more and more at the support talent tree, I'm noticing that there's quite a few tankiness buffs that work really well. And a lot of the stuff from the support talent tree is full point stuff. It's not half point stuff. From a garrison perspective, I'm actually really starting to like the support tree, and I'm going to go through why. So if we're going to work our way from top to bottom, the main ones that you want to know about, you get Burning Blood, which gives you an additional normal attacks that grant additional 9 rage every normal attack. You spec all the way down to the right there, and you get to Rejuvenate, which gives you 150 rage whenever a skill is used. That's huge. That's basically 15% of your normal skill damage bar, which means every time a skill is used, which is twice, you get 300 rage instantly every time your skills cycle, which means that's less rage that you need to regenerate to fire those skills off again. It becomes a machine or machine gun of skills going off nonstop. I've also got Hasty Departure, not that we really need it as a garrison tree, but again, you need to spec into it to go down to get Rejuvenate, so you got to get it. The bottom section is where you really start to get some of the tankiness and the utility stuff that makes the support tree a really, really solid option for being a garrison commander. I do like Wu as a primary because of the combination of garrison, support, leadership talents that we've picked here, and the combination of her skills with all of this stuff. It synergizes really well. So let's go through the bottom tier. Elixir, which gives you a 9% healing effects received increase as well, on top of the healing herbs, which gives you another 9%. So you're talking 18% increase. Then you've got Loose Formation, which is the one right below it, which gives you a skill damage taken reduction of 9%, which is huge, and stacks with all the other skill damage reductions that you get from her skills as well. Then you can also go down to Counterattack, which gives you, when healed, and this is the part, when healed, troops led by this commander will have their attack increased by 9% for the next 3 seconds. So you can trigger this heal once every 6 seconds, 7 seconds, if that. So you'll have half of that time at least be a 9% attack bonus. And then on top of that, you've got these healing bonuses that stack on top of all those things too. It just works really well. And then finally, I've spec'd all the way to the bottom to emergency protection. This is an amazing skill. So when troops led by this commander take skill damage, which is going to happen as a garrison commander, there is a 50% chance that they will gain an additional 15% skill damage reduction. Again, that stacks with loose formation. That stacks with all the other skill damage reductions that she gets from her skills. That stacks with, there's another one in here over on, skill damage impregnable on the Garrison talent tree, which gives you another 15%. This all stacks up. You're going to have so much skill damage reduction. YSG is going to be hitting you for 2,000. I mean, this is crazy. I want to see a Wu maxed out with this talent build behind this with my troops, for instance, in my city. And then we're going to go into the pairings after I do one more build to show you, because I do want to give you the open field version of it. It's not recommended as having Wu primary and open field, but I wanted to give it to you just in case you wanted to use it. And it's actually not as bad as you would think it is. It's not as good as it could be if you used Wu as second, if you were going to use her in open field, which again, this is her primary use as Garrison, but you could do it and it would be okay. I think overall, though, it probably wouldn't be the best use of her talent build, because this is where it's at. This one right here is where it's at. So much skill damage reduction, so much healing effect received bonuses, so many things that trigger off of that to give more attack. I mean, just everything, and so much rage regeneration, so many stats. I mean, everything is working out beautifully with this talent build and her skills. Let me give you the open field one, just because I wanted to give it to you and give you the full experience, right? Basically the same exact build on the support talent tree on the bottom, but we reallocated all the Garrison stuff up into the leadership. And if you're using Wu primary, she's a leadership commander, so you're going to want to use mixed troops. And that's why I gave you both armed and armored to the teeth, which increases all damage dealt by 3% and reduces all damage taken by 3%. So those are very nice. I also forgot to put the bubble up for strategic prowess on the top right, but you do have it. So with 34 talents, you can get strategic prowess all the way at the top right, which is the scroll looking one. I totally forgot to put that dot there. I apologize. But that gives you, after you use a skill, it increases your troop defense by 20% when it's maxed, and that is maxed in this build. So 34 talents there, which gets you strategic prowess, armed and armored to the teeth. It gives you fresh recruits, which gives you an increase of 3% troop capacity, which is very nice. It also gives you hidden wrath, which is an additional 6 rage every time your troops are attacked. You also get the healing herbs that the other build got. It's very, very solid if you're going to have a mixed troop type army out there with some skill damage, some healing. You can pair this up with quite a few people, and I've got the pairings coming up next. You also put 1 point over into defense, which is the first talent point in the Garrison talent tree. So let's bring up the pairings. The pairings are where it's at, guys. I really, really can't wait to walk through these pairings with you, because the ideas are staggering. The ideas are definitely getting me excited about Wu being my main primary Garrison commander in replacement or conjunction with YSG and or Sun Tzu. Okay, so YSG is my first choice for having YSG being a secondary commander, and the reason I say that, I am actually starting to favor the tankiness of the support tree over the skill tree from a Garrison perspective. I know you do a little bit more damage with the skill tree using YSG primary and Wu secondary. You can certainly still do that. Don't get me wrong. Basically use the same exact build and you're good to go. But with the skill tree versus the support tree. However, I love the synergy of all of her skills with the support tree over YSG skills and the secondary, because you're going to be firing stuff off like crazy with YSG's second skill having 100% damage increase and a rage regeneration bonus. And then on top of that, you've got all the damage that YSG provides alongside of the bonuses that he will give Wu in combination with her skill damage that's going out. You've got heals. I mean, you've got everything. I really like Wu primary, YSG secondary as probably the new gold standard of your Charles YSG type people that are out there. If you've got 5,000, 8,000, or I'm sorry, 5 million plus troops, you may want to still stick with a Sun Tzu YSG or a YSG Sun Tzu just because of the raw damage that you're going to be putting out. But even then, I would love to see Wu with a 5 million plus city. I mean, you wouldn't be touched. Like, the damage that you're going to be doing is insane, and you're going to be so tanky, you're not going to be filling your hospital up because of all the skill damage reduction. Constantine's another interesting choice, and I wanted to put him up here just solely because he's really geared around Garrison as well, and he does get that nice heal at the end of the day too. And I want to say that there's got to be something to do with that 4th skill with the shield. I know they've updated it with the wording so that it says while shielded, skill damage reduction taken is increased by a pretty significant amount, but I don't know if his 1st skill qualifies as a shield. I don't know if he needs to have Charles as that primary or secondary inside of his group so that he can do what he needs to do. I don't know. Either way, I think Constantine is a very solid choice still because of his 1st skill being such a great debuff and buff. And then on top of that, the extra health that the infantry inside of your city will use is very nice. It all stacks together really well too. Charles Martel, of course, I think a double tanky combination of Wu and Charles works really well as well. Not only are you getting all that super tankiness from Wu's skills and talent trees, but also you get an actual shield from Charles alongside of the additional counterattack damage, all the extra bonuses to the infantry, all the different things that you can do with this commander, and the increased damage that you do while shielded, which is only for like a second or so, but still it's 1 second. Charles is a really good pairing and a super tanky double pairing with Wu as well. Here's my interesting one. So we all know that we like to have tanky and damage when we're talking about city defense. And that's why Wu works so well, because she's super tanky, but she also has a nuke. I wonder how the pairing of Saladin would work as a Garrison 2nd to Wu Zetian. All that skill damage reduction on top of another 30 to 40%, depending on if you have him expertise, and another 14 to 1700 skill damage on every single nuke that he does, again, if you have him expertise. And the healing effect reduction if you're getting rallied from a Richard Alex or an Alex Richard. That would be an amazing pairing, I think, especially if it's a single rally. I think that actually might be better than YSG if it's a single rally, especially if it's an infantry rally. You want to go Wu Saladin. That would be an amazing pairing. All the bonuses and all the reductions and the increases and everything, that's where it's at, guys. That's where it's at. Again, the normal traditional pairings, Sun Tzu, Minamoto. El Cid actually works in this situation as well, especially if you're less than half health and all that good stuff. I also threw Cao Cao in here, or Chow Chow, or Double C, or whatever you want to call him. Reason being, he's got a rage regeneration bonus. He's also got a heal, a little bit of a heal, which would trigger all those healing effect things that we were talking about before. He's got a really solid nuke on top of it. A lot of the bonuses that he gets in his skills works really well in conjunction with the talent build that we just went over and the skills that Wu brings to the table. So Double C also works really well as a secondary pairing for Garrison. So those are the Garrison pairings that I recommend. I really like YSG, and actually Saladin's kind of my sneaky dark horse. Amazing. I think could be the best, but I haven't tested it out yet because I don't have a Max Wu or Max Saladin for that matter, but he's close. I think Wu Saladin might be the gold standard, especially if it's only one rally. That's going to be an amazing combination, I think, from a Garrison perspective. Again, I also wanted to give you pairings for open field as well, which is on the right. That's where the helmet's at. So again, if you're looking at this, I don't recommend necessarily using her as a open field commander, especially as primary. You can use her as a secondary commander and be relatively successful, especially if you use these commanders as primary, because you'll get those beneficial, better talent builds that are geared towards open field combat. Whereas again, Wu's combination of talents and skills works really effectively in the Garrison capacity. But Saladin primary, we just went over it with Wu secondary, or vice versa. If you want to use mixed troops, that's fine. You can use that mixed troops build I just gave you and work and be okay. Saladin primary, though, would be better because you get the cavalry tree and you still get that sweet support tree, which is really, really nice. I think that's the best open field combination pairing that you can have for these two commanders in the game. Also YSG for same reasons. They work really well. That you lose the support tree and you get the skill tree, so you're losing a little bit of tankiness, but my goodness, you've got the skills from Saladin and the skills from Wu. How much more skill damage reduction do you need? There's just so much. There's so much inside of these talent builds. El Cid works really well, again, for the same reason as the Garrison. You get this double silence, basically, was my thought process behind that. You have a silence from Wu, and then you have a disable from El Cid. Those things will start to alternate and work really well. Alex is also a really good pairing, in my opinion. I do like Wu primary here or Alex primary here. It really doesn't matter. I like Alexander just because he has the infantry tree, which I favor in a lot more than the leadership tree. But I do like the support tree a lot more than I like the attack tree. So it's a trade-off there. You figure out which way works best for you and your playstyle, but both work really well. I think they synergize really well too, considering all the shielding and the healing and all the good things that they both do. Always with leadership trees, you can pair up with Julius, you can pair up with Barca, you can pair up with Scipio. All those work just fine. I like Richard as well, having a double healing pairing. That's really, really good. And again, I kind of like the support tree over the defense tree, but yeah, Richard primary, you really just can't go wrong with Richard primary, having infantry and defense trees in support of those two commanders. These are all really good, guys. This is exactly what this Garrison, this is a Garrison commander. This is exactly what she's built for. If you've got PvP aspirations open field in mind for Wu, go for it, use those pairings, and you'll be in very good shape. Let's go through the summary of why she's really good, and then also kind of a bad spot or a hiccup. Obviously, one of the best commanders for Garrison in the game, like we've just been saying the whole video. Extremely versatile. Again, she can be used everywhere and in conjunction with quite a few different commanders, so you can suit the rally that's coming your way. If you're getting full nuke coming your way, it might make a lot of sense to pair her up with Saladin. If you've got multiple rallies coming in, it might make sense to go with YSG so you can get that AoE damage going. Same thing with Sun Tzu. If you've got a full infantry rally coming in with Richard Charles, Charles Richard, or more likely nowadays Alex Richard or Alex Charles or any combination of those, Saladin again might be the way to go because of that healing effect reduction and the counterattack damage bonuses and all those different things. So extremely versatile. Also has a very direct purpose. Again, she is very, very specifically made to be an amazing Garrison commander. You should use her as a Garrison commander. She is the best one in the game. That's why you should use her. And finally, again, kind of the downside to her is not everybody has her yet. We just talked about that a little bit earlier as well. She can only be attained from the Season 2 winning for Lost Kingdom. So if you have not done Lost Kingdom Season 2 yet, or if you have and you were unfortunately not one of the ones that were able to participate in the winnings, you don't have her yet. Now, again, I would imagine she will pop up on a Card King at some point or something like that, so you can at least summon her and use sculptures to get her maxed out. Or, again, you can always migrate to a kingdom that's in between Season 1 and Season 2, and then try again. You can always do that too. Okay, with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Again, such an amazing commander. I had to do a video on her, and now that we've got her sculptures, I was able to kind of bring some stuff up and start brainstorming. I'm sure there's a little bit more that we can talk about with this commander, so if you'd like to, please comment in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you have not already. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Cheers, have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time.